Chapter 5, Gathering Storm. A single lamp illuminated the cluttered table in Selene's dimly lit room, throwing elongated shadows across the walls. She sat hunched over the tattered tome Ethan had given her, flipping through pages scrawled with cryptic sketches of eyes, spirals, and half-legible script. Most of the words were indecipherable, some ancient dialect or code, yet certain symbols glowed faintly when she ran her fingertips over them. Then it happened. A page that had previously been blank revealed a sketch of a building plan, pulsing with faint luminescence. A line of script beneath it read, "Come at dusk." The sudden appearance made her heart thump, half excitement, half terror. She'd already been warned that her unusual abilities and the artifact in her possession attracted danger. Still, the page felt like a lifeline tugging her into unknown territory. If Ethan believed she should follow, perhaps she must. She found the building in the crumbling outskirts of the city, once a grand library, now just a shell of cracked columns and rotted shelves. Dusk laid an orange glow over broken windows. The main doors, great slabs of wood, stood partially ajar, and when Selene slid inside, the hush felt almost sacred. Motes of dust swirled in the half-light, and the faint smell of old paper and mildew lingered. "Over here." The voice was warm, female. Selene turned to see a slight figure with dark hair standing amid toppled bookcases. The woman wore simple, functional clothing, nothing to indicate she might be dangerous, but her presence radiated something calming. "I'm Ava," the stranger said, stepping forward. "You must be Selene. Ethan told me you'd come." Her eyes flicked to the tome Selene clutched. "And that you carry knowledge forbidden by the regime." Before Selene could reply, soft footsteps approached from the far side of the library. A taller figure emerged, clad in a threadbare coat over a lean build. His hair was shot with silver despite his seemingly young face. He regarded Selene with cool assessment. "Draven," he introduced himself, voice low but resonant. "I've been a student of the dream realm for many years. I'd say a pleasure to meet you, but these are grim times." Selene swallowed hard, nerves prickling. "Ethan said there were others, Dreamweavers, like him, like me. He called you a network, maybe a resistance." Ava's gaze softened. "We don't use the word resistance lightly, but yes, we're here to protect people who can shape dreams, and to stop the government from twisting those gifts into something monstrous." Draven gestured for Selene to follow. They led her deeper into the library's bowels, past shelves collapsed like dominoes, until they reached a clearing lit by salvaged lanterns. Waiting there, arms folded, stood Ethan. Relief flooded Selene at the sight of his familiar face. "Glad you came," Ethan said quietly. "We've been watching the organization's movements. They're tightening their nets, hunting anyone with even a whisper of dream-based ability." He turned to Ava and Draven, introducing them properly to Selene. She learned that Ava specialized in soothing dream traumas, an empathic healing that kept Dreamweavers from being consumed by their own powers. Draven, on the other hand, possessed a deep repository of knowledge about the dream realm's hidden architecture. He spoke of Oneiric Fusion as a power not seen for a century, and which, if Selene truly had it, could change the course of their struggle. They settled onto upturned crates, forming a small circle. A handful of other figures drifted at the edges, a watchful young man in patched gear, a tall woman with an air of quiet determination. Each eyed Selene with a mixture of hope and caution. Ethan kicked off what felt like an impromptu meeting. "We lost someone last week, one of our own. The organization's agents raided a safe house. We barely escaped." He paused, letting that sink in. "Dreamweavers with your kind of ability, Selene, are prime targets. We want to help you learn to control it." A flutter of panic ruffled her chest. I barely understand what it is," she admitted. "That's what we're here for," Draven said, tone gentling. "We've trained others before, but your case is unique. Oneiric Fusion could let you blend entire dreamscapes with reality if it matures unchecked. That kind of power in the wrong hands—" His silence was pointed, leaving no doubt about the danger. Selene inhaled, glancing at the ring of determined faces. "Then show me." They led her through a practical demonstration, a shared dream session. Even the concept daunted Selene, but she followed Draven's instructions. Slow her breathing, let Ava's voice guide her into a trance. Soon the library's tattered walls blurred, replaced by a soft glow. They found themselves in a dim meadow under a turquoise sky. Flickers of moonlight danced on silver grasses. "This is Ava's construction," Draven explained in the dreamscape. "A gentle environment for practice." Selene tried to replicate illusions the way she had at the market, reaching within for that spark of emotional focus. At first she conjured only a faint flicker of light, but as Ava murmured encouragement, shapes formed, flickering orbs, silhouettes that wavered like spectres. A surge of excitement nearly broke her concentration. The illusions faltered, twisting out of control until Draven steadied them with a sweep of his hand, the dream meadow rippling from the impact. Selene's cheeks warmed with embarrassment, but Draven simply nodded. "That was impressive for a first attempt. With practice, you'll maintain stability." Ethan appeared in the dream, smiling. "See? You can do it. You just need guidance." A flutter of hope stirred in her chest, before everything around them shuddered. The meadow darkened abruptly, the edges dissolving into black. Alarm flared in Ava's eyes. "We're being breached from the outside." In an instant, the shared dream dissolved, snapping them back to the echoing library. The muffled sound of shouting reached them, footsteps pounding across the marble floors. Eyes wide, the group scrambled for cover. A squad of black-clad enforcers burst in through a side entrance, their guns and batons catching the lantern light. The watchers at the perimeter rushed forward, illusions blossoming to confuse the intruders, snarling beasts, shifting shadows. But the enforcers advanced in a tight formation, unnervingly well prepared. "Go!" Draven barked, pushing Selene toward a narrow corridor. Ava and Ethan flanked her. Half the group fought to hold back the enforcers, luring them deeper into the library's labyrinthine shelves. Snarls of gunfire rattled the ancient building. As they fled, Selene's stomach lurched. One of the watchers, a wiry man she'd glimpsed earlier, took a blow to the head and crumpled, carried off by the enforcers. She clenched her fists, desperate to help, but Draven dragged her along. "We can't lose you too," he hissed. The survivors emerged through a hidden exit into the choking night air. Sirens wailed in the distance. "They must have tracked a dream signal," Ava said, voice shaking with anger. "They're getting better at this." Selene's eyes burned. She'd just begun to realize she wasn't alone, that others shared her burden. Yet here was the ugly truth. Every step deeper into the dream world painted a target on them. She swallowed hard, looking at the grim determination on Draven's face and the pained guilt in Ethan's. "This won't stop us," Ethan said quietly. "We'll relocate, regroup. We can't let them pick us off." Draven nodded, gaze settling on Selene. "We'll continue training you, but know this. You might be the key to turning the tide, and that makes you invaluable and dangerous in the eyes of the organization." Selene sucked in a breath, steeling herself. The fleeting glimpse of hope was battered by the night's violence, but it still glowed deep inside her. "I understand," she said, voice tight with unshed tears. "I won't run from it." In the near distance, an enforcer's shout echoed, and the group hurried away into the shadows. As the sky darkened, Selene clutched the tome against her side, a single promise echoing in her mind. "I'll learn. I'll protect them." Yet the stark reality of the hunt loomed, a storm gathering force against every dream they held dear.